all right, so this post got this many likes, and this one got this many comments. I don't really know what that means or how to adjust my strategy. That you? As a new or small but growing influencer, do you know what insights to be looking for on your platforms? Is it the likes or the comments that help you grow? Well, in this video, we're gonna talk about it. I am going through the insights that you need to be looking at in order to grow your platform, as well as how to avoid the suck of vanity metrics. Let's talk about it. Let's go. What's up? It's David K, aka Threadability, and today I want to go through what Instagram insights are, what to look for, how to use them, and how to avoid falling into being obsessed with them. We're going to be going through post and overall profile insights, and I'm going to be explaining terms along the way. So if there is anything that doesn't make sense while we're talking through it, make sure to comment down below. I was almost going to say make sure to stop me while I'm talking, but obviously I can't do that here. Or you can send me a message. Either way, I'm here to answer your questions. And additionally, remember that if you want to use the insights Instagram provides, you have to be switched to a business or creator profile. So make sure you do that ahead of time and you're ready to go. All right, so if you're on your homepage, you're gonna see that Instagram actually moved the Insights tab right on the homepage. This is a 2020 update that I actually don't hate because it makes it a lot easier to get to all your insights. So when you're in that tab, you're gonna see that you can find insights for the last 7 days and the last 30 days. Now, I personally think that the 30 days look over basically gives you a better idea of trends happening on your profile. In this tab, you'll see how many accounts you've reached, the actions actually taken on your posts, and follower insights. And this is basically just an overview of everything right on this homepage for insights. Now, you'll also be able to see the content that you've shared, and we can click into every one of these sections to get more information. So we're gonna run through each one. Okay, actually, let's back it up for a second and let's talk about why insights are important and which ones are important before we jump into each one of these sections. These are not just a way for you to track vanity metrics, which basically don't indicate the success of your profile or the pursuit of your goals, and are super easy to get wrapped up in, like follower count. Instead, the nice thing that Instagram does is actually give you information that helps you realize what content resonates with your audience to create more of it and optimize it. So you end up creating content that you love, that your audience loves, and you get a better understanding of your audience and how to create captivating content. Basically, I'm just telling you to use the clues that Instagram is literally handing out for free. Okay, so what should you actually be looking for? I always start with engagement on a post level and an overall level, your overall reach, and the actions that your content is inspiring so you can gauge what your audience is doing with it. So let's jump into reach first. And just so you know, I'm using a business account. A creator account might look slightly different, but overall process should be the same. So as a whole, Instagram is gonna show you data that compares the current time period to the last time period. So if you're looking at 7-day periods, then you're gonna see this week versus last week. And if you're looking at 30 days, you're gonna see this month versus last month. So you can compare how your content is doing. Obviously, green numbers mean that the percentages are going up, and if it's gray, it might have stayed the same or it went down. Which reminds me, I'm probably about to expose my account here a little bit. So in the accounts reach tab, you're gonna see reach and impressions. And basically impressions is the total number of times your profile or your post has showed up on a feed. And that could mean that it showed up multiple times on one person's feed, and that counts as one impression per time it was shown. Now reach is the total number of people who have actually seen your profile or your post. So that means the number of individual people who've seen it, and is probably a better indication of how your account is getting out there. So what should you focus on here? Your overall reach and impressions will show daily spikes and overall trends. And what you want to pay attention to is the days where those went up, because that could indicate when your content was more popular depending on what you posted that day. Higher reach means that Instagram recognized that your content was resonating with your audience and it pushed it out to more individuals. You can then use that to go back to check out what you posted on that day and look at individual stats of that post and start making trends or compiling identifying factors of that content. Now this section will also show you actions taken on your profile, and these can be really good indicators depending on what you're trying to track and what metrics are important to you. For example, you might want website clicks if you're selling something on your profile. These aren't critical if you're more in it for influencing, I would pay attention to your reach and impressions. You'll also see content in this section that's ranked by reach, which again helps you identify which content was popular and start to study those trends. Now, the content interaction section is pretty self-explanatory, but basically this tells you all the actions that were taken on your post. And again, you can use these to understand what content was most popular and identify those trends. It's a theme here. We're trying to identify the trends so we can optimize more content that follows those trends for our profiles. Here's where we get into the most powerful engagement tracking section. So if you're a note taker, pull out your notebook here. And if you've gotten value out of this video so far or learned something new, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below what the new thing is that you learned. So if I click into this section, you're gonna see that I'm able to organize my content by type, the metric that I'm actually tracking, and the time period, and you get more options for the time period here. So you'll also see that Instagram gives you a bunch of options for what metrics you want to track, and you just want to align this with whatever your goal is on your platform. Right now, we're tracking engagement, so I'm selecting that post interactions tool because that tells me all of the actions that are taken on that post. That sort of culminates it into one number, and I can use that to understand engagement. And then I'll usually look at the last 30 days or the last 3 months to get a good sense of what the popular content was and really what got my audience buzzing. And there you go. Instagram has just told you what resonated with your audience the most in that time period. I'll first start out with understanding what the visual trends in my content is and what my audience likes to actually see in the photo and video content. And then I'll move into subject matter. So I might be looking at whether more of the popular content was full outfit shots, half body shots, and if the subject was talking more about style and fashion or if it was more about creating content. Then I can make a list with the top 9 posts, which is really all you need to start understanding and refocusing my content and then optimizing those subjects and the actual visual parts of that content. You can repeat this process for virtually all the content that you create on Instagram, except for Reels at the moment. Now, of course, the point of understanding your insights and doing this research is not just to create content that your audience loves and that you absolutely hate. That's a disconnect, but it does give you a better understanding of your audience. The best influencers and businesses know who their audience is and know what they like so that they can create content for them that everybody loves. So if you click into the audience tab, that's where you're gonna see your account growth statistics. And like I said before, a lot of the time we think that this is what Insights is for and not all the other stuff that we just talked about. Truth is, this section is the one that I struggle with the most because it's that vanity metric part. It's the part that you can easily obsess over. But what I've tried to do lately is to use this to understand what content is actually inspiring growth rather than just focusing on whether people are following or unfollowing my account. So because it gives you a graph of what days had heavy action, you can see what content was also posted on that day and try to understand what content is actually converting people into followers of your account. The other important piece in this section is understanding the demographics of your audience. So for example, like the regions they reside, whether they're men or women, whether they're older or younger, you can get a better understanding of what kind of content is going to resonate with them. For example, if your audience is mainly 24 and under, probably expensive luxury items are not necessarily in their budget quite yet. So continuing to post that kind of content is probably why it's not resonating. And then of course, you can check out the peak times where your audience is actually active on Instagram so you can understand when your post will go live and how it'll be more effective. Use this to your advantage. Now, the hint here is that I don't necessarily post right at the peak. If it says 12 p.m., I post a little bit before to kind of catch that rise and start appearing in my audience's feed. And honestly, I don't know how accurate this is and how big of a difference this metric really makes of whether you post at 11 a.m. versus 12 p.m. But if you're trying to create a schedule, you might as well use this data to understand where you might be most effective. So I typically prefer looking at my insights from a profile view so I can get a better understanding overall, but there is still a lot of information you can gain from individual post insights. So let's pull it up. So again, you get the likes, comments, saves, and everything that points to engagement, but there's also additional info that you can pull out of this individual post insights. For example, you're getting that reach and impression data again. And if you look at this and you see that you're getting quite a bit of reach on your post, but not as much engagement, maybe that post got pushed out, but your audience didn't necessarily resonate with that specific piece of content enough to actually take action on it. So then you can go back and check out, how could you inspire them to actually take action on it? Did you miss a call to action? Or was it not something that they actually responded to as a topic? This will also track actions taken specifically from that post. So you'll see profile visits, follows, website clicks, emails, and everything sort of in between there. But the thing that you can look at is if you had a bunch of people visit your profile and the majority of people who interacted with that content were not followers, but you did not see a growth in actual followers, maybe there's a disconnect on your bio. Maybe you need to make it more clear of what you're doing on your platform. There's these little nuggets that Instagram kind of leaves that you have to do the work to figure out with these insights. These kinds of insights for actions taken on your profile also help you understand your audience's journey through your content. So start to look at your content through your audience's perspective to see, okay, when they click like on this post or video or whatever it is, and then they move to my profile, what do they see and how do I keep them there? And at the bottom of this Instagram Insights section for this individual post, you're gonna see where that post was seen. So was it from people's home profiles? Was it from the Explore page? Was it from hashtags? Now I'm kind of bummed because a while back, Instagram actually allowed you to see which hashtags were performing the best just right on this page. Now there is a little hack, so if you want to see how to do that, let me know down below in the comments and I'll create a separate shorts video for that. But as you can see, there's so much more than just tracking the likes, comments, and saves in the individual insight section, and it can really lead you to a lot more information about your audience. Now, I do want to talk about the dangers of insights because as an influencer or content creator, it is so easy to get obsessed with these insights that your content ends up lacking quality and you get stuck in sort of this misunderstanding of why you can't get something to actually get the engagement that you want or get the results that you want, and then you just sort of stick in the spiral of trying to understand your insights. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself because I have continued to get caught in this trap and I have to pull myself out because it is a constant battle. If that has happened to you, it's okay. It happens to all of us, and Instagram is designed to make us think this way. When I originally switched my personal account into a business account, it was a mindset shift. It meant that I was taking things seriously, and that meant that I thought I needed to track who was following, who was liking all the time. I was trying to make sure that people still liked what I was posting, and I would beat myself up if I didn't hit like 5% engagement or 10% engagement. But that's not actually what your insights are about, like we just talked about. The insights that Instagram provides are supposed to help you analyze, implement, and then actually start growing and using your platform for your overall goal. It is not, in fact, to obsess over who's liking, who's following, who's not liking, who's not following, especially because those don't necessarily on their own help you understand how to improve and how to grow. Remember, please, please, please remember that the insights are no indication of the actual quality of your work. You indicate that. You put out good quality work. It's not somebody else telling you that. What these insights are here for is to help you analyze and strategize of how to make a bigger impact with your audience, especially if that's what you're here to do. Now, if you're stuck in that insights trap and you're trying to figure out how to get out of it, message me on Instagram and we can make a plan together. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time.